Okay, let's talk some materials for our toast and eggs. First and foremost, you will need your 3.5 hook. If you've watched my channel, you know this is probably 95% of the time the hook that I use. You'll need a yarn needle. You will need some scissors. You're gonna need a stitch marker, which I keep on my brace. You're going to need some polyfill. Let me grab some real quick. Some polyfill. You won't need a lot at all. The only thing we need polyfill for is for the yolk in our egg. And the last but not least, what you'll need is some yarn. So I used a couple of different colors here. So we will need light brown, and I'm a scrap yarn user for my projects, so take that as you will. Light brown yarn is going to be for the inside of our toast. We're going to need some dark brown yarn, which is going to be the outside border of our toast. We are going to need some yellow, which is going to be the yolk of our egg. And we need white, which is going to be the egg whites, of course, in our egg. And that is it. I say let's get started. All right, we're going to start with our toast. And for our toast, we are going to go ahead and chain 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. Row number 2, we're gonna actually rows 2 through 15. What we're gonna do is 1 single crochet in each, and at the end of each of those rounds, you are going to chain 1 up. So let's do the first, maybe 2 together. So we're going to go on the second chain from the hook, and you should have 15 stitches left. So we're going to do a single crochet in each of those 15 until you get all the way to the end. And let's go ahead and do this first one together. And it will curl on you just a little bit. You see how mine is curling? That's just the nature of crochet. So don't be alarmed if it curls on you. It will flatten out eventually. We're coming up on the last couple here. All right, this is my last 2. All right, this is my last one. So going into my last one, at the end of each of the rows, you are going to chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work, and then go into the first stitch of that next row, and go all the way down and repeat the process up until row number 15. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'll meet you back here. All right, so I am done with my 15 rows, and this is what we are looking like. Let me just cut this little straggler here. This is what it looks like, and we're looking pretty good so far for our toast. Okay, so for row number, where are we? Row number 16. What we're gonna do is we still want to do that chain 1, and we want to do triple crochets. So we're gonna do triple crochets in the 4th stitch from where we are right now. So 1, 2, 3, right there. So triple crochet, and we're doing 8 of these. So that was 1. So you're gonna skip those stitches, go into the 4th one, and you're doing 8 triple crochets in that same stitch. And this is gonna help give us that bump, those 2 bumps, that signature of bread at the top. So let me go ahead and do this. I'll probably do like a speed through so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what we should be looking like so far. Now what we're gonna do is skip 3 single crochets, and we're gonna slip stitch into that 8th stitch. Okay, and I know that sounds a little bit confusing, but essentially what we're doing is we're skipping 3, 1, 2, 3, and right here we're gonna put a slip stitch. That's essentially what it means. So now what we're gonna do is do another 8 triple crochets in the 12th stitch. Okay, so if this was number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right there. just like this, and we're doing 8 additional triple crochets into this stitch. So go ahead and do that and meet me back when you're done. All right, so this is what we're looking like. Now you're gonna skip 2 stitches and you're gonna go into that 15th stitch with our slip stitch. And at this point you can cut your yarn and fasten off. You do not need a long tail for sewing because we will not be using that tail for anything other than weaving in our end. So that's what it's looking like so far. Kind of toast-esque, but not really a toast. We need the border on it. So let's go ahead and do our border. Okay, so for the border, we are gonna start in this bottom left corner. We're gonna attach our yarn with a slip stitch right there. Next, we're gonna just do 1 single crochet in each of these stitches until you get to this next corner. So go ahead and do that, and I'll do mine on this end. Just 1 single crochet in each. And like I tell you guys in all my videos, my tails, I crochet over them so I don't have to worry about weaving them in later. If that's just a little bit too confusing for you, then go ahead and, you know, leave them out and weave them in later. But it drives me bananas to finish a project and not actually be done with a project. So I weave as I go, if at all possible. Sometimes it's just not feasible, but a project like this definitely is. Okay, so when I get to the end, like I am right now, what I want to do is do a single crochet. I'm going to chain 1. And then I'm going to do another single crochet. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's going to give that corner. Otherwise, it's the corner is going to be kind of rounded, and you don't want that. You want a little bit of a point. You see that? So 1 single crochet along this side as well. And the stitches aren't as well defined on this side, so you know, just kind of do the best you can to identify where the best fit for that stitch, for that single crochet is. And I'm just, you know, kind of eyeballing where I think is a good place for it to go. Just like this. All right, and we are at the little humps on our bread. In the stitches on our hump, we want to do increases, so 2 single crochets in each stitch. And the reason behind that is if you don't do the increases, it's going to curl up on you a lot. It's still going to curl on us a little bit, but we want it to curl as minimal as possible. And so it gives it kind of like a thicker appeal also that I kind of like. So we're doing 2 single crochets in each of these stitches to give us that nice border. So go ahead and do this, and I'll meet you back when we get to the other side. When we get to the center, notice how our center goes in and then it goes back out. To make sure we're kind of keeping that that indentation right here, I just put 1 single crochet on either side of that slip stitch we made in that row number 8, in that stitch number 8. So was it stitch number 8? Yes, it was stitch number 8. So 1 single crochet on that side, and then 1 single crochet on the other side, and then continue with the 2 single crochets in each. And you see how it just gives us that nice little joop. That's exactly what we want. And so I'll just go ahead and stay on as I'm finishing up my last couple stitches here. This is my last one. All right, so when we get to the other side, we're just doing 1 single crochet along the edge, just like we did on the other side. Again, I'm gonna crochet over my tail from the light color of the yarn because I don't want to weave it in later. And so literally just 1 single crochet in each quote-unquote stitch. Again, just like the other side, you want to find what best suits for a single crochet. because the stitches aren't very well identified on this side, because these are the ends of our rows and not our actual rows. Okay, coming up on my last couple here. Alright, and once we get in this corner, we want to do the same thing we did with the other corner, which is 1 single crochet, a chain, 1 single crochet, and then we're going to slip stitch to that first stitch, fasten off. Again, we don't need a long tail because that tail is just going to be weaved in. So instead of having 3 different tails to weave in when we attach the yarn, when we finished our inside and this guy, we only have one tail to weave in, which is a win in my book if you ask me. All right, so this is what we're looking like. This is our piece of bread. I'm gonna weave this end in, and then I'll meet you back here to talk about our egg. All right, this is our finished piece of toast. What we're gonna do now is focus on our egg. So we need to get our yellow yarn for our yolk. And I put my crochet hook away. All right, so what we wanna do is start with a magic circle. In our magic circle, we are going to put 6 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Stitch marker, row number 2 is going to be a row of increases, so we should end up with 12. 1, oh, this yarn is bright. 2, 3, 4, and you're going to do this all the way around. Row 3 is going to be 1 single crochet and then an increase, 1 single crochet and then an increase, 1 single crochet and then an increase, and we're doing this all the way around. Row 4, 2 single crochets and then an increase, 2 and then an increase, 1, 2 and then an increase, all the way around. Row 5 is going to be 2 single crochets and then a decrease. So 1, 2, decrease, and this guy's going to curl up on us, and that's what we want. 1, 2, decrease. Go ahead and do that all the way around. So I went ahead and turned my work inside out because it was starting to get a really nice curve on it. Row number 6 is going to be 1 single crochet then a decrease. We're closing this guy up, and again, this is the yoke. We want the yoke to stand out just a little bit, like a 3-dimensional type situation, so that's why we're doing it this way. But go ahead and do 1 single crochet and a decrease all the way around, and meet me back once you're done. On our final row, row number 7 is going to be a row of decreases. So we're doing decreases all the way around. So go ahead and do that and meet me back here. All right, so this is what I'm looking like. I went ahead and cut my yarn, and I'm gonna fasten off. We don't really need a long tail for sewing. You just need a tail long enough to close up this little hole right here, but we won't need it to like attach to anything. So that's probably too long of a tail, but I'm just so used to cutting them that way. So what we want to do now is, bear with me as I grab my polyfill here. We want to stuff this, but we don't want to stuff too much. If you think about an egg yolk, it's not really firm. It's kind of fluid, but firm-ish-esque. So we want to stuff to where the shape holds, but we don't want to stuff to where it's super, super firm. Okay, so we want it to have a little bit of give to it. And by all means, if you want a really firm egg yolk, then go for it. But I want mine, see how it's still a little squishy? I think that's good for me. I'm going to put the rest of this away. And what we want to do is close this hole up. And in theory, this guy should be flat on the bottom once we close that hole up. Okay, so go ahead and close your hole and meet me back here. Alright, so this is what mine is looking like once I close that hole. Just a tip, I came back on camera just to show you kind of one of the things I do when I want my bottom to be flat is I'm going to go through that magic circle and I'm just going to pull a little bit. You see how the bottom just comes up? See that? How it comes up? And it just helps to, you know, make the shape a little bit better. Again, amigurumi is all about detail. So little things like that matter in your final project. So I'm just going to go ahead and secure this thing so it's not going anywhere, and then hide it somewhere in the work. And I can cut my tail, and we will go ahead and start attaching the egg whites. Okay, so for the egg whites, what we are going to do is attach our white to the yellow. We're going to attach between rows 5 and 6. So magic circle is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to attach somewhere in here. And we're going to attach with a slip stitch. Let me go ahead and get my white yarn all situated here. So attach just like that. And so what we're going to do is attach or insert 18 stitches all the way around. Okay, be careful with following the row because we did work in a spiral. So at some point we're going to work along here and then we're going to jump up a row, just because working in the spiral means that if you follow this all the way through the 18, you won't meet back where you start and you're going to end up over here somewhere. So let me do the first couple for you with you so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. So I'm going to go into a stitch, move this tail out the way, do a single crochet, that's one. I'm gonna go into the back of the same stitch, do another single crochet, that's 2. Do it again, back of the last crochet and into the next one. And I'm gonna do this all the way around until I get 18 stitches. And I'll show you what that jump looks like in just a second. And you can see I'm moving my tail back and forth. It simulates like when you weave it after you're done with your work. If you don't want to do that, you definitely don't have to. It's just, again, something that I do so I don't have to weave my ends in later. Okay, so you see how like me following the spiral is starting to take me down this little rabbit hole down there. What I want to do now is jump up a row. And that just looks like, instead of going, my next stitch according to what we've been doing would have been right here. I'm going to actually jump up and go here. And then I can follow this row around. So go ahead and add your 18 and then meet me back here once you're done. Okay, so I have done my 18, and what I'm going to do is just go into that, so actually I'll go into that first stitch and then just tie it together just like that. So what I want to do now is I'm going to put my stitch marker here, and in row number 2 we're going to do increases all the way around, and so that means that we're going to end up with 36 stitches. So literally we're just going into our stitch and we're doing 2 single crochets in each, just like that, all the way around. So meet me back here once you're done with yours. All right, next row, row number 3 is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. So 1, 2, 3, so forth and so on, all the way around. Okay, so for row number 4, what we're gonna do is 1 single crochet and then an increase, because we want our egg whites to be a little bit on the bigger side. So 1 and then an increase, 1 and then an increase, and you're going to do that all the way around till you get to your stitch marker. All right, and row number 5 is the fun stuff. So what we're going to do now is 5 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna do two double crochets in the next 2 stitches. Just 1, 2. We're gonna do 3 triple crochets in the next 3 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 2 double crochets in the next 2 stitches. We're then going to do 7 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 double crochets. 1, 2, 2 triple crochets. 4 double crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 double crochets. 1, 2, 2 triple crochets. 1, 2, 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 single crochets, and this is our last little bump, y'all. 2. Then we're going to repeat that sequence. So 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 2 triple crochets, 4 by 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. You are going to put single crochets into the remaining stitches, which in this case should be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're gonna want to slip stitch to that last, or the first single crochet in that last row. You don't need a long tail for sewing. We just need a tail to weave in the ends. And that is what our egg is looking like. So let me go ahead and weave in my ends, and then I'll show you what our finished product looks like. All right, y'all, we are done. We are done, we are done. This is what our, I ain't cut this thing off. This is what our toast and eggs are looking like, and they're so cute. So cute. Okay, so what can you do with this pattern? First thing that comes to mind is if you want to make your toast thicker. I didn't do my toast thick on purpose because I wanted mine to look like this, but if you want to double up on the inside, the light brown part, and then do a border around both, like if you do 2 panels of the inside, the light brown, put them together and then do a border around both, your toast will be a little bit thicker, and you could stuff it like with polyfill if you want to make it like more like a plushy toy type situation. You could add eyes and a smile to both. That might give it some character. That's pretty cool. Or you can make it, you know, as part of a larger project. Make some bacon, make some waffles, something like that. But this is a cool project to start our November. I'm a foodie, so when I think about November, I think about food. So it's only fitting for me to crochet some cool food items with you this month. I hope this was enjoyable. I hope you had a great time crocheting it. I hope you had a great time with me. I had fun making this one. Like I said, I'm a foodie, so this is right up my alley, crochet or not. If you like this, go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so you know when I post new content, which is every single Monday, never fails. Every Monday I bring you something. Yeah, stay safe out there. Every week it never ceases to amaze me, like what our country is up to. So make sure you're staying safe out there, everybody. Crochet some cool stuff, and I will see you back here next week.